Whether it's here or elsewhere, I admire good writing. Grant you, I'm not a good singer. You may have noticed. But I can and do sometimes write quite well. The poems and the stories I write are mine. Except for the Puddle with No Toes, who I credit to the original writer, Edward Lear. I very rarely use other people's material, but if I do, I credit them, as you should. But, strangely enough, I've encountered something strange of late. Every time I try to tell somebody where you can find my stories, and I type out the address, including the @.com, it gets struck off by YouTube. Now, there's nothing in my TOS that says I cannot give there is nothing in my TOS that says I can't give another email address, another site address other than youtube.com. All I want to do is illustrate where my stories can be found. So, they haven't got me for this one yet, so I'll try. They might get me. I'm trying to promote my own work on a page within YouTube, and every time I write down the address, because somebody asks me where they can find my writing, it gets immediately struck off. So we'll try again. I expect this to be deleted, by the way. Vampire Rave in brackets dot close brackets com. I write as Angelus, capital A N-G-E-L-U-S. I've got about 700 short stories on there, and I'd say about 50 are really quite good. I write about my adoption. I write about meeting my birth mother for the first time. Not a story I like to tell people generally, but I did write it. I guess the point is, I don't like people who sit in their bedroom and say, I'll do such and such. Well, I did. I've got a piece on Kindle somewhere. I keep forgetting what I wrote it under, but hey, fine. It's out there. I found the comic yesterday. Well, it was the second or third that we produced during the comic class in Liverpool during the late 80s, early 90s. Ian Herring had been the first tutor for the class. He was effing brilliant. The guy was about as straight as you can get, and he was pure solid. Using your terminology, he was solid. When I went to the class for the first time, the guy asked me why I was there. Reasonable question. So I responded, I wanted to learn how to draw boxes. Now, if anybody knows about cartoon work, the boxes are the panels or frames around the artwork. I knew so little, I didn't even know they were called panels or frames. I figure I was about 19 maybe. I mean, granted, you, I've been reading comics for years, but the idea of actually understanding things as a learning lesson had never struck me. Never. Just not in my world at the time. I joined the class, and in truth, I learnt so much there, you just couldn't credit it. It doesn't matter what somebody's style is when they draw. Can you get the idea across? And I'll be honest, I hate that certain phrase. It means you're generally going to lie, but I'm not. I got to a point where I started collecting people's artwork, because so often they'd leave the class and never come back. Rationale? Societal still pressures. Cartoonists aren't worth a jot, particularly black cartoonists. I'm very proud of the artwork he made. I can't recall his name. I wish I could. And I wish he'd come back to the class. That year he didn't. He just left, and I had photocopies of his work, and I'll keep them. And in fact, I think it's his original work. I don't think he drew much more after that, from what I can gather, but I'm not sure. And it was a colour and culture thing. Now, correct me, I believe in equality. Equality is for all, irrespective of colour. Particularly irrespective of colour nowadays. Anywho, I did get annoyed about that. The guy's artwork is absolutely effing stunning compared to mine. He knew how to use all the Letraset type techniques, like background shading, and I mean, the guy was so good, he should have persisted. But either his mates didn't like the idea, or his culture didn't like the idea, I don't know. But I admire his artwork. I admire it still. So yeah, I admire his artwork, which I won't lose until I go. It's better than mine. And if you read the piece, he talks of his culture, his life. He did what I try to do with my stories. He illustrated what he knew. So, I guess what I'm saying with this one is plain and simple. Vampire Rave, in brackets, dot, close brackets, com. If you're at all interested in anything I put out, and you'll be able to find some of my photographs. I like taking photographs. No surprise there, you might gather. But public warning. I think I know what song I'm going to kill next. Like I said, that's a public warning. I can narrate, I can read poems, and I know I cannot sing. So sue me. Johnny Rotten couldn't do my way, but I might try. He was quite successful at it. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I actually watched that film. He did the song in. They were good for about 2 years, but that's about it. They had nothing to add. All they wanted to do was destroy. Totally fascinated me that he did that song. What was he trying to prove? Children Rotten can do my way. Yeah, big deal. You know, it's just... Jeez, give me the original on that one any day. And yes, I don't even like Frank Sinatra very much. The song is a good one. The composer was brilliant. Yeah. No, I'm not going to get started. Yet. But I was warned not to do that one. I'm a Scorpio male and we don't do what people tell us to. Well, unless it's my mother. And she's gone now. So, there's no one to tell me what to do. And if I want to ruin a perfectly good song, I'll try. No. Okay, I'll try to do a reasonable version of it and we'll probably still massacre it. But, yeah, okay. I'll probably end up having a go before the end of the week. I do have another one in mind. I'll leave it to the people who might view this to have a guess at what it might be. And that'll be interesting if anyone guesses what the second of the two song options is. And to me, it's fairly obvious. But then again, that's why I chose it. And yeah, I'm not a great creator for YouTube. Don't intend to be. I have some work I'm very proud of and I like to get it out there when I can. And occasionally I'll have a ramble like I'm rambling now, and if nobody pays attention, do you know what? It genuinely doesn't matter. You've got your own lives to lead and I respect that. Anywho, a rest is needed and I need to feed me. Malnutrition does not go down well with hospitals. I've learned that of late. So, yeah, rest is needed. Oh yeah, and don't bang into a door at 4:30 in the morning. You end up not being able to give somebody the finger the next morning.